This is lesson 5.7, Converting Measures, chapter 5. In this lesson we are going to convert from one unit of measure to another, like from the metric system to the English system or the English to the metric system. In order for us to convert from one unit of measure to another, we have to multiply by one or more conversion factors. And a conversion factor actually is nothing but a rate that equals 1. On a test, for converting units, you will be given the conversion factors, so do not take the trouble of memorizing them. All you need to look is for the relationship that's given. So in this case, inches to centimeters, or pounds to kilograms, gallons to quarts, quarts to liters, gallons to liters, meters to feet, and miles to kilometers. Alright, let's go ahead and do some problems. Also remember, we are going to round to the nearest hundredth if needed. And we are going to use this symbol, which means about, instead of this symbol, which means equal to. Also use the conversion factors that are given to you right here. You can look up on Google if you need something and it's not on this sheet, but remember that they might have rounded it off to another a different place value. Okay. We have to convert 20 centimeters to inches. Remember that whichever you are converting into is always in the numerator. That's the one that is in the numerator out of the conversion factor. In this case, the first one is inches to centimeters. That's the one. I need to convert to inches. So the inches piece, which is 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters in the denominator, times the 20 centimeters that they have given you. The next step is that you see centimeters in the numerator, centimeters in the denominator. Just like any number that are equal value can be crossed out, these two can be crossed out. And we are going to multiply the numerators. In this case, 20 times 1 is 20 over 2.54, and this is the inches because that's the unit that is left over here. And if you go ahead and figure out, you will find that the answer is 7.87 inches. So the answer is about 7.87 inches. Let's go ahead and do the next one. I'm converting the kilograms to pounds. The conversion factor is 1 pound and the 0.45 kilograms. I need the pounds, so I'm going to leave the 1 pound over 0.45 kilograms. We multiply it by the 25 kilograms, cross out the kilogram and kilogram. We end up with 25 over 0.45 pounds, and if you work that out, we will get an answer of about 55.56 pounds. The reason, again, that we cross out the units is, remember, if we had a 5 over 5, we would cross them out because they are equal units. Similarly, if we have two units that are given, we can cross them out just like that. Just like two quantities or two numbers, just like that, we can cross out these also. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a few more of these. Again, once you remember that you have to put the how to place the conversion factor, everything else is just a regular division or multiplication problem. Okay, in this case, kilograms to pounds, 0.45 kilograms, because that's what I need to figure out, over 1 pound, times the 48 pounds, cross out the pounds, multiply the 48 and the 0.45, and the answer is about 21.6 kilograms. The next one, I need to convert gallons to liters. The conversion factor is 1 gallon is 3.8 liters. I need the liters, so I'm going to put 3.8 liters in the numerator over the 1 gallon times the 12 gallons that they have given me to convert to. Cross them out, multiply 3.8 times 12, and the answer is 45.6 liters. Let's go to the next example. Miles to kilometers, and on the sheet it says that 1 mile is equal to 1.61 kilometers. I need to figure out the kilometers, so that is what is in the numerator for me, over the 1 mile times 5 miles. And by now I hope you've realized that since we have to leave or in the end get the kilometers by itself. That's the reason we place these in the numerators and denominators, so that we can cross out the units. All right, if you multiply, we end up with a 8.05 kilometers. So 5 miles is equal to 8.05 kilometers. Let's do the last one of this part of the lesson. I need to convert the liters to quarts, and the relationship is that 1 quart is equal to 0.95 liters. So I'm going to put 1 quart over 0.95 liters times 12 liters. Cross that out, and if I work on this, I'll end up with 12 over 0.95, and I end up with about 12.63 quarts. Okay, and now let's move on to the next piece of the lesson. In this part, we are going to compare units. Again, it's the same principle. We are comparing to see if 8 kilograms is greater or less than 30 ounces. I cannot compare kilograms and ounces, so I'm going to make the kilograms into pounds and then into ounces. So let me write it here, 8 kilograms to pounds, so that it keeps it straight in my head which one needs to go in the numerator. Again, I know the conversion factor. I need the pounds in the numerator, so 1 pound over 0.45 kilograms, and multiply it with the 8 kilograms. Cross these out, and I have about 17.76 pounds. So okay, now let me write this here, 17.76 pounds, which is nothing but about 8 kilograms. Now, just looking at this, I don't have to go any further, because I know that 30 ounces is less than 2 pounds, because remember 1 pound is 16 ounces, so 2 pounds should be 32 ounces. In this case it's less, and just looking at this I know it, so I'm just going to put a greater than sign. But if you still have to figure it out, you can do this piece and then figure it out. We really don't need it, because remember 16 ounces in a pound. Let's move on to the last piece of the lesson. I need to figure out if the 3 gallons is a bigger unit or a 6 liters is bigger unit. Now remember, I can make the gallons into liters or the liters into gallons. It doesn't matter which way. In this case, I just choose to make them into liters. Alright, the conversion factor of gallons and liters is 1 gallon is 3.8 liters, and I need to make it into liters, so I'll leave the 3.8 liters in the numerator over the 1 gallon. Multiply it with the 3 gallons, cross out the units, and I end up with 11.4 liters. Alright, so 11.4 liters. This is how much 3 gallons is. And so compare it to 6 liters. Obviously, this is a bigger unit. Go ahead, try the rest of the problems on your own, and I'll see you next class.